Hello, guys and girls. Now, I am very, very, very excited about what we are launching right now. So, the other day, I was in the gym and I had like a bit of a brainwave, and I thought, do you know what? How good could this potentially be? So, the goal for every single one of us who is on this mission right now, in this four-way, soon to become five-way, it's going to grow and grow and grow. Chat of Legends is basically just to motivate, bring value, and inspire through the content that we produce through social media. That's the pure goal. So I was sitting there thinking, why don't we all come together? And I just literally read a little quote now on the Avengers and how they came together. And it was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to see if we could become something more. And I was like, imagine if we all come together. I've had all these guys on the podcast before, and their stories are unbelievable. Their stories, their life, what they're doing, their mindsets. And I was like, let's bring them all together and let's put together something amazing to bring value, to educate people, to help them understand what it is that we do. We're all on similar kind of journeys, similar paths, all in the same mission to help other people. So we thought, why not come together and bring like an amazing like form of content to help people understand more about nutrition, our mission, how we help people, and how it's a great fit for anybody. And we're just going to use this as a tool as well to help deal with objections, help people just to understand more about what it is, and just to break it down on every level, really. So this is going to be, we reckon, maybe like a monthly thing. This was just literally one to test the water, to see what everyone thought. And we are hoping for as much feedback as possible so we can then produce more content, because we want to bring content based on the value that is needed and the value that people want to see. So we want to ask for as much feedback as possible. What questions do you have, or what feedback do you have for us, so then we can come together again and produce something even better next time. So as always, thanks for your time in listening to our and watching our content. Do us a favor, screenshot this and stick it up on your Instagram story so people know that you're listening. We're just trying to spread the message and get the word out to more people. If you can share it through your social media as well, that would mean a lot to us. And just leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening to. That would mean a lot. But without further ado, you're going to really enjoy this. Over to the legends. Okay, guys. So we've had these three legends on the podcast before. So if you want to hear more of their story in detail, you can obviously just go and search for them: Ben Mash, Jordan Head, Phil Hopkinson. But they're going to bring some more value tonight. We've basically jumped on a call on a Sunday, Easter Sunday, because obviously we love what we do. It doesn't ever feel like work. We just want to talk about what we're passionate about. And obviously, we are all now fit pros. Mash, obviously, you're not included, mate, in that comment, but you've come from a bricklaying. Now you think yourself as a fit pro. But you've got some great points that we want to expand on tonight as well. But we basically want to just throw loads of stuff out there, talk about some stuff, do more to, I think, to soften the marketplace and to help people understand what it is that we actually do. So, yeah, I think we're going to start with you, George. You're going to talk about Mr. Tupperware first, and even talk about your recent, like, you've put on loads of weight, haven't you? And it's just been like, yeah, you're like a superhuman, mate. Talk to us.
Yeah, okay. So just to give you a little bit of background about myself for the guys who haven't seen the podcast before, is, I've been working in the health and fitness industry for the last 13 years. I've always been, really into fitness and stuff. I've done all sorts of things from martial arts like kickboxing, loads of running, weightlifting, just anything I could sort of get myself amongst. I absolutely love health and fitness. But one of my things was, I always tried to eat as best as I could. And before I actually came across the Herbalife nutrition products, I was, the vast majority of my nutrition was organic. I was eating a hell of a lot of plants. I was eating a hell of a lot of eggs. I was eating a lot of chicken, but all lean meats. And I was trying to go organic as much as I could. So I was eating the best that I knew possible, and actually the best of anybody else that I knew. But the results I was really looking for is I was always looking to really get the abs going, and I could never get it. And I just said to myself, I'd already just sort of preconceived that my body just wasn't ever going to get there, because I was training 7 days a week and I was eating as good as I knew. And I thought I knew the ins and outs of what was going on nutrition wise. So I was, eating 7 eggs a day. I'd have 5 eggs for breakfast to make sure I was getting at least 25 grams of protein in at breakfast. I can master, literally, I can do eggs, no problem at all. If you want me to make a poached egg, a scrambled egg, omelette, I've mastered them all because I've done 7 eggs a day for so many years to get that protein in at breakfast. And then I was eating out of Tupperware. I was, cooking up the sweet potato. I was cooking up all the chicken and the broccoli and the rice and stuff like that to be able to make these Tupperware meals. And you know what? I didn't mind doing it. I love the food. I didn't feel like I was missing out food-wise. However, my clients didn't want to eat the way that I wanted to eat. And that was where I found myself. And still, even though I was eating this Tupperware lifestyle and, doing all this meal prep at the weekend and stuff to try and keep me going throughout the week, I still never really got the result I was looking for. I was in good shape. I could put on muscle, but I could never really get myself lean at the same time. Or what I would do is do like a bit of a bulking phase. And then as soon as I tried to do a cutting phase, I'd lose a lot of the muscle. So I was in this position and I was doing I would just do whatever I could find out. So I was doing fasted cardio with black coffee to try and get that fat burning going first thing in the morning. I was walking uphill on treadmills for hours because, I could burn 1,000 calories within an hour walking uphill. So I would do that. And it just wasn't giving me the result. And I was knackered of the back end of it. So when I first heard about the Herbalife nutrition products, I was just like, I know the ins and outs of nutrition and stuff, and this isn't the answer. This isn't what needs to be done. However, when I looked into the principles and the science behind it and that it was nutritionally balanced at 40-30-30, that was exactly what I was recommending my clients do anyway. So I was like, for my lazy clients, they can use the products because they don't want to eat 7 eggs a day. They don't want to eat a Tupperware because their lifestyle isn't fitness. Their lifestyle is that they go to an office job and they have other jobs and stuff. So I was like, for my lazy clients who don't want to eat out of Tupperware and eat 7 eggs a day, then these products will be good for them. I would just use them every now and then just so I know what it tasted like and just so I know how to make it. But then my clients' results within the first sort of 2 or 3 weeks of really getting a few people started, I was absolutely blown away. And then that's when my coach said, why don't you stick to a nutrition plan and really go for it and stick solidly for 90 days? I did that. And within 3 weeks, I got the abs popping. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I just couldn't believe the results. And after 90 days, the muscle had increased whilst dropping the body fat. And I was like, hang on, normally I'd do a muscle building phase and then I'd do a drop in body fat phase. And that was 7 years ago. I've literally just finished after Christmas. My body fat had gone up to 15%. I went a little bit too crazy on the celebrations and I went Operation Turkey, the pigs and blankets, got absolutely smashed. So I got up in January and my body fat was the highest it's been for a long time. So I decided, right, I'm going to do a lean and large plan. And in 90 days, I put on 11 pounds of muscle and I dropped 5% body fat. And it was ridiculous. Everybody was asking me, like the PTs in the gym, like I don't work in a gym now, but when I'm working out in the gym, some of the PTs, they were saying to me, they're like, oh, you're peaking too early for summer and stuff. And I'm like, this is not aggressively dieting. I'm just eating good. I'm just eating the right balanced nutrition on a daily basis. And everything I do is so sustainable because I love doing what I do. I love the foods that I eat. And it's just crazy how the people around me, they can get in good shape, but I find that they just aggressively eat. They aggressively train in a way that they don't want to. They don't want to live the rest of their life like that. But that's what they do to get the muscle building phase and the drop in body fat phase. And it's just the education I've actually had through the balanced nutrition with the Herbalife nutrition products and how it's been a more effective journey for me has just been absolutely mind blowing. And I just think if people genuinely knew the difference it can make when they stuck to a nutrition plan, if they were willing to put it to one side, I only put it to one side once my lazy clients got phenomenal results. And I was like, well, do you know what? I should put this to the test. And I've never looked back since.
Mental, because we should open this up to everyone because we all, I think before we started using the products, we all thought we don't need Herbalife, correct?
Agreed. 100%.
We was all like, we are the boys. We don't need these like shakes that are made for women. Well, that's what we all thought, right? Or they're for lazy people. Yet they've taken all of our performance. None of us are slouches in the gym. We all train hard. We've all got nutritional knowledge as well prior to Herbalife. Yet it's completely changed all of our opinions, which is almost a little bit embarrassing as well. Considering we've spent time on courses and stuff, did all this knowledge to become nutritionists and put information even out on social media, trying to help people. What were you doing this, Mashley, before as well?
No, I have no previous background in nutrition whatsoever. I was, well, a bricklayer, for those of you that don't know my story, I haven't heard the previous stuff. I just used to live on coffee, carbs, play football, train. So I played football a couple of times a week, trained in the gym 3 or 4 times a week. So I was always active. Obviously, bricklayer, very active job, but I just lived on carbs, like pizzas, pasta, coffee. That was it. But I just thought, you know, I can eat whatever I want because I'm so active. But I never had the results that I should have had for the amount of exercise that I did.
Happy. And can we all agree as well that we was all already using supplements?
Yeah.
Because everybody is open to supplementation now. I think that's an open thing for society. Yet you mentioned Herbalife and people are still a little bit like, but why is it better? Like I had someone ask me today, a guy who definitely needs a program based on his current shape. And he's like, but is it actually any good? And I was like, it's better than anything else out there. So how do we show more people that? How do we get them to understand that until they've actually used it?
I think, like, for me, you know, before Herbalife, I was a busy person training. I was doing 25, 30 hours of PT a week within David Lloyd. But if you came to me and said, right, can you show me all your clients' body transformation photos and stuff? I didn't have any like already done, but I could ask maybe 2 or 3 of my clients and I could say, you know, have you got any old photos? And I'd probably be able to get 2 or 3. And that's crazy. The actual impact, the difference that it's actually making. I think if you're in the game of changing people and helping people to change their lives and stuff like that and getting people a result, and that's what the service that you're selling, you should be able to provide a whole catalogue of results of people that have changed their lives. And at the end of the day, it's the results that's the key thing. And, you know, that's what drew me in.
Definitely.
I agree. Like, totally. Sorry, Jack, go on.
Were you the same, Apollo? Did you have many transformations before becoming a Herbalife distributor with your PT business?
No, so that I was literally just relating to Jordan. Then, like, I was doing between 20 and 30 hours a week PT, and yeah, I got good results with people, but there was like I didn't have them available. Like, probably same as Jordan, only a handful. I could go and say, look, find an old photo, let's do a recent one, and you could see the change. Whereas now, and like you said, I think how do we get people to actually notice that Herbalife products are better than what's out there? It's just the results. It's literally us guys that are using it, our clients that are using it, and stories and the people that are using it. I think results don't lie. And if you've got a phone full of transformations, people that you know by name, it's not people you found off the internet. These are people we know and speak to every day. And all their transformations are different as well. People are using the products for gaining weight, gaining muscle, dropping body fat, extra energy. Like, there's so many different transformations. And I think when people see that, it starts to plant seeds in their head. Like, actually, this stuff is probably good.
Yeah. And another thing for me, sorry to butt in with this bit, but I think it's relative to what we were just talking about there is, you know, with my PT clients back in the day, is they were paying me for exercise, and that's how they saw it. I saw that they were paying me for a result. So what I wanted to do was talk about nutrition, but I'd have to do it whilst they're exercising because they didn't want to use some of that hour slot sitting down asking what they were doing food wise, because they thought they didn't even want me to do the warm up and cool down. They wanted to do that first. They got a full hour because they thought it's about how many calories they burnt in the hour. So I think that's one of the biggest things, is because we know that the majority of the results comes down to nutrition. When you come in it from a nutrition perspective, but you still support them from an exercise perspective, it's a completely different flip. And we're not spending a whole hour in front of a client just with exercise. We know we are spending time with these clients and stuff, but it's from a nutrition perspective and support exercise. And when you've got the community stuff going on, you just have that leverage, which I think is obviously the biggest thing which Herbalife can give us.
Definitely. So I was a bit different. Like, I'm not saying, I was a better PT, but I had like 40, 50 transformations before Herbalife. And that's because I put a lot of the focus with my clients on nutrition. But I will be honest as well, and make it even worse for myself. Of those 40 or 50, I reckon I gave nearly all of them eating disorders.
Really?
Because what I was giving them was so strict. It was like almost, it would be aggressive dieting, like you said before, George. Like, it would be an 8-week or a 12-week prep. And I've had people doing competitions, photo shoots, but it would never last. and it would be the same as my results. So I'd be bulking or cutting, and then I would binge for weeks, and it would be so unhealthy. Yet I was the guy to go to for results as a transformation, but people couldn't keep it. And then whereas I'm doing Herbalife for a year versus PT for 5 years, I'm getting people results that are compounding. And that's when I realized, because I used to think Herbalife was this quick fix. And this is where I think the problem is with a lot of the marketing around what we do is challenges. It's 21-day challenge or 30-day challenge. People think it's quick fix. It's in reality, it's just a gateway into a new lifestyle, which I think is the results just compound, because when you get this stuff in your body, you realize that I've never felt this good before. And if you're consistent and you maintain it, you can't feel the same way from normal food anymore. It's just not possible because it's so nutritionally dense. So that was for me the wake up call, and I realized, like, I knew the power was in nutrition, but there had to be a way that was, one, more sustainable for people, and two, that opened up to a wider marketplace, because I was smashing people in the gym and with aggressive diets. So this was only, how many people do you know who want to be smashed in the gym and who want to follow aggressive diets? That isn't the solution to obesity problem, to like heart disease. This isn't going to solve that, right? Macro tracking and meal plans, and strict meal plans of eating chicken and broccoli out of Tupperware, uphill walks on treadmills, that isn't the solution to our problem, to the mega trends, which is where Herbalife comes in. And now you've got 4 hungry guys on a call who I think collectively now we're helping about 1,000 people a month, right?
Yeah.
Whereas there's people who obviously, personal trainers out there who are like, no, that stuff's still a load of rubbish. And they're helping maybe 10 clients to not even get a result.
I think, Jack, a big one for me, and this is, I did a video about this a few months ago in our support group. A lot of personal trainers, I think, see Herbalife as a threat because they're not open to learning and understanding actually what it is. And people can do Herbalife from all different backgrounds. You don't need a PhD or a nutrition background. Like, anybody can come into Herbalife, learn and get taught by doctors and scientists that know all the stuff, then help people get amazing results. And then people are realizing, I don't need to pay a PT 50 quid an hour to get an amazing result. I just need to eat a bit better. And Herbalife is a really easy tool to use alongside my food. And it's a lifestyle change. It's like you said, the 21-day challenges we do one every month, but the little gaps between those 21 days, people just carry on because, like, I don't want to stop. Like, this is my life now. And like you said, with prepping, especially for something like a body competition, like I've done it, and the amount of people I know that screw their bodies up prepping for things like that and going like carb loading and watching their sodium levels and water load and everything, and then as soon as the competition's done, they just fall off the rail and they don't know what to do. Whereas Herbalife, for me, when I was using it with my body competition, I didn't prep too seriously, if I'm totally honest, because I eat quite well now anyway. So I just changed a few things, probably prepped for, I'd say, about just cut out things like more sugar, saturated fats, trained a little bit harder, and more specific. But I didn't do much different to what I just normally do day to day. And when I was at the competition, people were like, how long did you prep for? And they're like, I did 12 weeks, I did 16 weeks, I did keto, I did this. And I was just not relating to anything because I'm like, I didn't go into all of this. And yeah, it was my first comp. It was an amateur event, but I came second and got my pro card. So obviously something went right.
This would be an interesting comparison, to be fair. So have you guys competed, Jord or Mash? You're just like a crazy 5K.
Jord doesn't need to compete.
Yeah,
Jord's just chiseled.
He'd win
chiseled from stone.
We'll go a little bit of a head-to-head then, Popo, because I've done 2 shows.
Okay.
One of them natural, one of them using anabolics. And that one, I reckon I spent about 1,500 quid on my cycle as well, by the way. I'll just be completely honest because I might as well. And post that show, you say you didn't like try hard. That was my life for 12 weeks. All I did was think about the competition, focus on literally every variable of my diet. It was so obsessive. And then the night of that show, I ate and then ate for the next week. And within 4 days, I put on 2 stone.
Wow.
Post show. And my body and my head, my mindset was a mess. That was the one that I did when I was on using gear. And then I stopped all that because I was like, this didn't do my body any good. Did a natural one because I was like, I can prove you can do this without gear. And I did exactly the same, but I prepped a little bit more relaxed, but then still binged post-show, and I think I put on about a stone. So it wasn't as bad, but I didn't learn my lesson, obviously. Whereas you just told me, you cruised onto the stage, took second, got a pro card, went, cheers, boys, while everyone else went and like binged for weeks and had like an eating disorder, which is the reality of body competitions. Most people that have got eating disorders who compete. And if they're honest enough, they will tell you that. So a lot of people on Instagram, they'll aspire to be like these fit pros who will share their transformations. But in reality, that person's struggling. That person's in serious, like bad headspace. And that's the goal for a lot of people on social media. They're like, wow, look how shredded that guy is. He's got veins going through his abs, but the bloke can't get an hard on. And it's the reality of it. I didn't have sex for like 7 weeks in my prep. The last 7 weeks of my prep, and then it took me about a month to get a hard on back afterwards. I bet you were going all the way through, weren't you? On herbs. Did you have problems with that or not?
Oh, me, sorry.
Yeah.
No, I had no problems in that area. The only, no, literally nothing. Like I say, I didn't feel like a fraud because don't get it twisted. I did train hard.
Oh, I'm not taking that away from you. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you are, but I'm just for people listening. I didn't just stroll it and not really try. But just the fact of what I was already doing was pretty much good enough. I probably wouldn't have looked out of place if I just went in a week and I just had a really good week on what I'm doing. But I did put a bit more effort into the gym, but it was so much easier than I thought to get to the shape which I got to. And I still look back and think I could have done even better. But in that time frame that I did it, and when I compared it to everyone else that was there, like what they had, like you said, what they'd been through for 16, 12 weeks, how much money they'd spent and committed and time. And like, I just thought, that's not for me. But I think this might be useful for people that do want to do things like that. And it just proves you can actually enter them in a different way. You don't have to go really old school, hardcore, carb loading and all this stuff. Like, because it's just not natural and it's not a lifestyle. And as soon as, like you say, the competition finishes, you don't know what to do.
Yeah, you lose your purpose. Here's a question, George. When you were Tupperware King, was you frequent going to the toilet? Is that because when I was dieting, when I was in a big calorie deficit, I couldn't go to the toilet for like 4 or 5 days. Is George froze? I think he has, hasn't he? Yeah.
I think George froze, yeah.
But either that or he just doesn't want to answer that question.
I'm back in, sorry. I heard toilet, that was all I got.
So what I was saying, when I would be in like a strong caloric deficit, I would find I wasn't getting enough nutrients in my body, and I was definitely not getting enough fiber. So I couldn't go to the toilet for like 4 or 5 days. And I remember the week of my show, I couldn't go to the toilet. So I was taking loads of these like tablets to try and help me go to the toilet because I was bloated. I was like, I can't go on stage bloated. I couldn't go to the toilet when I was dieting. And I think this is quite a big problem generally for a lot of people, especially women who diet like really strict or aggressively, especially Monday to Friday. They'll then binge at weekends, but that's another story. We can, I think, cross that in this podcast. Weekend dieters, they're terrible. But I couldn't go to the toilet. Whereas with Herbalife, I'm drinking actually apple fiber now, but like I am going to the toilet, good toilets as well, like 3 or 4 times a day, right? And I've never felt better. But before, I would always struggle with that. Is that common for you guys as well? Or have you always strong on the toilet?
Always strong on the toilet.
I'll relate to that a bit, Jack. Before Herbalife, I was trying to gain weight because I'm naturally like an ectomorph. So very slim, skinny, very hard to put on weight. Could eat pretty much anything, but I was trying to gain, and so I was just literally doing what all the other guys at the gym did. Started getting on whey proteins and casein, and just adding more carbs to my diet. And I actually ended up losing weight because it made me go to the toilet more, which sounds ridiculous, but I don't know if it's because the quality of the supplements I was using, but it used to give me stomach cramps and I used to end up going to the toilet more, and I started to lose weight. So I just stopped using it. It was ridiculous. So that was the biggest difference when I started using Herbalife. I actually used it for 2-3 weeks without really knowing much about it. And I just thought, these taste really nice and they're not reacting badly with me. Like, I feel good. So I just kept using it. And that's how I got started on the products basically. Just used it myself for like a month and really enjoyed it and felt better.
Love it. George, Mash, Toilet Kings?
I'm pretty strong on the toilet. I mean, I can't really remember too far back, but I'm definitely super regular. It's all healthy. Pretty happy with it.
It sounds funny, and we're all laughing, but it's actually some stuff that actually would be relevant for people listening. They'd be like, to be fair, I'd like to go to the toilet more. And they'd like to have the energy and stuff.
I think it's two of the biggest things I get asked. When I ask people what their goals are and stuff, a lot of them just say like, oh, bloating or IBS, stomach issues, or energy.
Like, the average fibre intake in the UK, I believe, is between 10 and 15 grams in it, when it should be at least 25.
That's
So
about,
is it about 10, yeah?
yeah.
So people are underhitting massively, and they wonder why they get all these problems with their... And it's how people feel at the end of the day, isn't it? You feel uncomfortable, not good. What else are we going to touch on, boys? Yeah, Masha, you talk to us about how anybody can do this.
Yeah, well, I mean, from my background, like you guys, obviously all from the fitness profession, I didn't have that. I was just enthusiastic about it. But I think coming into Herbalife, you know, from an outside, and I think it's why we've had so much traction around what we do with the challenges and fit clubs, and Hoppo relates this, and Jord, because you guys all do it as well. I think we're a good baseline for everybody and anybody to enter, especially with like the family fitness stuff with the buggy boot camps. And I mean, it's not for everyone, but we can cater for that low, like, you know, people that aren't keen to go into the gym, because it can be super intimidating. Even for guys, I have plenty of clients reach out to me like, I just don't want to really go in the gym, or can like we train but not in busy hours. And I'm just like, look, we'll just go outside and we'll just do our thing. We'll just come to fit clubs around other people, because even if you don't have anyone that you can bring, or like, because I'll always encourage people to train in groups or with friends and stuff, but as soon as someone comes along to one of our fit clubs or buggy boot camps or the bar classes I run, they're just instantly comfortable because they're around other people, like-minded people. And I think that's like the I'd say one of the most attractive parts about what we do is anyone can do it. And we've had, I mean, I did my level 2 so I could take classes and stuff, because when I decided to take it a bit more seriously, Herbalife, I was like, right, I need to get qualified so I can get insurance and stuff like that. But I've now got members, like team members, that are also doing the same thing. They've seen it as like, especially the mums. So I started a buggy boot camp about over a year ago. It's January 2018. It was actually, this is a good story because Jordan's on the call. Jordan came to Horsham and we were training in Horsham Park. Was it winter time, Jordan, or end of the summer? Can't remember.
End of the summer, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and you're slowly turning into Batman, mate.
Like, my tan's developing.
He's getting darker and his voice is getting deeper. But yeah, we were just doing a bar workout in the park, and Jordan was like, you've got so many mums running around the park. Like, you should do a buggy boot camp. And I'm like, they're only then, you know, when you get a new car and you then notice all them the same cars, only then did I like walking through the park. I was like, Christ, actually, I've seen about 10 different mums running around on their own. Wouldn't it be cool if we actually got them together? So I literally just posted on a local Facebook page, thinking of starting a buggy boot camp or a buggy fit. Who would be interested? I'll do it for free. And it just took off. We got up to like 36 people on an average of a week, and they loved it.
Here's a good question for each of you. Of the people that you're helping through your team, your organisation, how many would you say as a ratio are exercising? Because you, obviously, I think you all three run like a fit club model. Because for me, I would say maybe 25%, 75% aren't in the gym. Or aren't really exercising at all, really. Maybe 30, 70. So for me, it was nice because I was always working with a niche clientele as a PT, whereas now I'm helping everybody, right? Would you say yours is quite high, split the other way around, where you focus on a fit club?
I'd say, I'll probably say 75, 80% of my guys will come to one of the community workouts. They don't go to the gym some of them do, but the majority probably just come once or twice a week to one of our workouts because they just like to be around people.
Yeah.
And obviously the community aspect of it.
What about you guys?
Go on, George.
I would say for us personally, it's probably about a third of our clients come along to actual either our Fit Club community or they plug into other sort of classes or go to the gym or something like that. But obviously, we really just encourage things like getting your steps up over 10,000 steps. We set people like ab challenges for each 30-day challenge that we do. So we give people like little things to do, like squat challenges and things. So we certainly encourage the exercise side of it. But yeah, there's a lot of people that just, like, even my wife, Yasmin, she even teaches some exercise classes, hates the gym, just like hates the idea of being in the gyms, finds it, intimidating. So it's like, I think, yeah, it's great to be able to have those people, but also the people that aren't interested in that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely similar numbers for me, like you, Jordan. There's a few that go to the gym. There's a lot that have got gym memberships but don't go. A lot, or they have a gym membership and go maybe once a week, and I ask them what they actually do, and they just like, I just make it up. They don't know what to do when they're there. Like, so there's just no structure, but they can't afford PT. They're too, and probably some of them are too embarrassed or scared to actually ask one of the instructors or someone there. So they just pretend they know what they're doing, and they get stuck in the same routine, never really progressing. So a lot of our guys now have actually quit their gym memberships just to come and do our boot camps and body challenges, or do the 21-day challenges, and we just set them stuff to do at home, like home workouts with now Wilson and what's the woman's name again? Yeah, so people are, I think a lot of people who weren't exercising when me and Emma met them now are exercising and really enjoying it because they can see the difference, they feel the difference because their nutrition's better as well. So yeah, it's kind of a compound effect of starting to eat better, getting a bit more active. Doing 10,000 steps a day is a great one to get people started, but then they start doing the home workouts and really start to enjoy it, and they're not spending 30, 40, 50 quid a month on their membership at a gym. So
it's just, I think it's taking people on a journey to be healthier, isn't it? Which I think a lot of PTs, like you said, they feel threatened by us, but in reality, we aren't actually even really competing with them. And plus, if you look at the size of the problem, we all need to work together, which is what makes me think like we all join the industry, whether it be Herbalife, personal training, Weight Watchers, we all are in it to help people, right? So I don't really see why people are like, that's wrong, this is right. Like, everyone should just come together and help more people, because the solution needs to be that, because the problem's so big. But this has been amazing, guys. I just want to end it with each of you giving us like what your advice would be to anybody out there who you think's listening to this now, who's open-minded enough to think, do you know what, not the business or even the business or products, right? But what would make you say, what would be your advice to anybody who was open to maybe starting? What would your advice be?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
My advice would just be open-minded to it. It's different. Like a lot of stuff that we do, you probably haven't heard about, or you might have heard things off other people that have said things in the past. But like we said before, results don't lie. Those guys are using it for a reason. We're helping probably around 1,000 people a month at the minute. That's not including all our other team members and people around the UK and the world using it. But my advice is just try it yourself. If it's something you're thinking about, don't worry about other people's opinions that maybe aren't using it or have never used it or have got a negative opinion on it. Just use it yourself. Try it. Do a trial. Get on the products. Do a 20-day challenge. And try it yourself and actually feel it and commit to it and notice it yourself. That's all I would say. Don't go off the opinion of other people that potentially don't really know much about what we do.
Boom. George?
Yeah, of course. So my whole thing is, I just think if you're interested in health, fitness, food, any of that side of it, you're absolutely crazy not to even take a look at it and even give the products a go, because it's another thing in the health and fitness industry. That's what I see it as. And for me, it's just a complete package where I find that many people try to be the complete package and try and do the nutrition, try and do the exercise, try and do the support in the community and stuff. But the structure of the way the company's set up is just phenomenal at doing it. There's nothing out there that's better, that ticks all the boxes from a healthy, active lifestyle perspective. And the results are just second to none. And that's why getting started on the products ourselves. And as Phil said about other people's opinions, the thing is, in the health and fitness industry, no matter what you do, people are going to judge you. If you're into the gym and then your friend starts doing CrossFit, what does everyone say? CrossFit's rubbish. You're going to get overuse injuries. You shouldn't be doing pull-ups like this, right? If you do CrossFit and someone's doing marathons, you don't want to do marathons. You lose muscle mass. Your knees are going to wear out. Doesn't matter what you do, it's wrong. So the whole thing is, the whole industry, it doesn't matter what you do, it's going to be wrong. So all you can do is either continue to do what everybody else is doing in your circle of influence, or have a look at another solution. And for me, like, I got into calisthenics last year, and because I'd been working in gyms and stuff like that for the last 13 years, I'd never heard of 90% of the exercises. Why? Because nobody was talking about them, because it was a different sort of circle of influence. And I think if you're interested in health and fitness, there's nothing better. And, you know, it may be that people take a look at it and for them, they just prefer doing what they do, but it's certainly worth considering and getting started on the products for a minimum of a month just to see how you get on.
Love it. Mashi?
Yes, I mean, very similar. I mean, I started just to use the products. I had no intentions of getting involved in the business. I didn't see it as something that I could do as a bricklayer, but I was desperate to do something for myself that I enjoyed doing. And I'd always been passionate about training and fitness and being around people. So it was only when I started getting around and understanding the business, getting around the likes of, you know, you guys and other members, and seeing the bigger picture, like, it's an unbelievable side hustle that anybody can do with any amount of time. Like, I was doing it super spare time when I first started, just maybe an hour a day, not even that. Just when I got home from work, dropping off products and doing the odd bits and bobs, like weighing people and stuff like we used to do. But I mean, when I needed it most, when I broke my wrist and I couldn't lay bricks, I'd got to the stage where I had just enough to survive, and then I was like, actually, now this is an amazing opportunity. Why don't I take this a little bit more seriously? Now I don't have to go and do a job that I hate or hated, and now I'm just super passionate about helping other people understand network marketing, because that's what it is. It's network marketing. I think it's such an underestimated, uncommon opportunity, and I absolutely love it, and I just can't stop talking to people about it at the moment. And I just think, like George said, if it's like calisthenics, it's unheard of, and I just think people just need to be open-minded to different ways. I think there's a new trend coming with millennials and side hustles and online businesses, and I think this Herbalife ticks all the boxes with network marketing and the product and, you know, the problems around us. I think we have the solution. You just, you know, start on the products, try it first, because I was exactly the same. I didn't need the products, but I did, because if you saw my before fight, I was fluffy as hell. But yeah, I love it. And if you're on the fence, just give it a go. Just try, you know, for 30 days, 1 month. That's what I did. My coach started, look, give it a go for 30 days. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What have you got to, but you haven't got nothing to lose. And I was like, there.
Love it, boys. I think, yeah, the main problem is the opinion of other people. That's what literally is stopping so many people from going over and just giving it a go. And I think, like you said, Mash, you touched on the opportunity there. The opportunity has changed all of our lives. Like, I will speak for myself. I enjoyed personal training, but I wouldn't be working on a Sunday night at 8:45. And this doesn't even feel like work. Like, we're putting out content to build the community, right? Help more people. But does this feel like work to you guys? And would you agree with that as well?
I was actually looking forward to doing this call today, and it's Easter Sunday.
Exactly. I don't think we ever feel like we're working with what we do.
No.
So like, it's just a better way. And like, I know they say about network marketing, it's not perfect, it's just better. Like, I can't think of a reason why Herbalife isn't perfect. Literally, I can't think of a reason, and that's with all of us have been through the trenches as well of trying to get in shape and working and failing, falling forward. But this has been the best way for us. And George, you've used the products for 8 years now, haven't you?
What's that mean?
How long have you been using the Herbalife products for?
Yeah, 7.5 years.
Literally.
And
that's why he looks like Action Man.
Literally.
7.5 years. But how? I didn't think you could do a diet for that long.
Yeah, that's it. The thing is, like, if you can eat a chicken salad, or if, like, how many years have people have been eating chicken for? And it's like, it's just food. And actually, it's even better than that. It's 10 times better than that. And that's the thing. People are in a routine of eating Weetabix or eating porridge or something like that for breakfast. And it's just like, swap it out, because it's phenomenal what your body will do. And yeah, I've just used the products for loads of different results and stuff, and they deliver every single time. Doesn't matter what goal you're after, you can absolutely do it, because it's giving the body what it needs. And that's, no matter what goal you're after, your body needs something.
Love it. I was going to talk about how it's better than food then as well, because you said that, and I'm like, people are like, surely a whole food diet is better. And I'm like, granted, we all used to think that, all of us, right, would be like, just eat a whole food diet and you'll be fine. This is better. Like, with the food changes in the industry, this is better than any breakfast you can compare. You can't beat a Herbalife breakfast. And if you had told me I'll be saying this 18 months ago before I signed up, there would be no way. I'd be like, you're on some kind of crack. If I was listening to this, I would honestly think that. I'd be like, who are these guys on a Zoom call talking about these shakes? I would be like, it would be foreign to me, but I haven't used it. I can't wait for how I feel in 7.5 years when I'm using it for as long as you, Jordan. I'll be like, bloody hell.
Yeah. I think people just think that's all we use, though. They don't understand that we do eat food. We just, supplement in the nutrients like that. Your story the other day, I messaged you about having the Greggs. You had the vegan Greggs, and then the vegan, was it a coffee? And then the messages you got, you shouldn't be having that. You're on Herbalife. But like, it's the only reason I can have it, because I'm in such good shape. It's just a misunderstanding, isn't it? They just think we live on. People literally think I live on milkshakes and probably eat grass. If they just saw the amount of food I eat on a daily basis, but compared to what I used to eat, the energy, the results, how good my skin is, my hair, complexion, like, I just used to be super unhealthy.
You are glowing, mate. You look great.
Mate, it's that line minimizing serum and then the daily glow moisturizer.
Boys, Jack, what are you saying? Go on, mate.
I was just going to add as well. It's the people you meet in Herbalife, which I probably like the most out of all of it. Like you guys, I wouldn't have known you if I didn't do Herbalife. I would never guys.
That's Mashy's alarm saying go to bed.
Bedtime, sorry boys, I'm out. I love you too.
We were looking so cool, Mash.
Oh, sorry, Phil.
But yeah, it's the people you meet, like the events. Like next May, we've got an event in Birmingham with some of the best nutritionists and doctors coming over from America to talk and teach us stuff. We've got diversity performing for us at a party. Like, what other companies do that? And literally all us guys there with 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people, however many people there are. Things like that people don't see as Herbalife. A lot of people just see it as the shake diet thing, but actually it changes your life in so many ways. And the people you meet, for me, is the best thing. Like, we've got our best friends now are in our team or in Herbalife, like a lot of them, just because we've got common ground. We're all looking to just be happier, help people, be more positive, get away from the rat race, and you then surround yourself with more people on the same mission as you, and you get on with people. You don't have to go to work with people you don't like. So
love that. What are you saying, boys? We do an objection dealing podcast, maybe like a month's time, if we just put this out there and ask for comments. So if you're listening and you've got some objections, or you've got some like questions, or maybe you're a member and you have certain people in your circle of influence who are always asking the same thing, let's make this almost a podcast or a YouTube video that can give you guys so much value to help you understand more about what it is. So then you can deal with objections if you're a member, maybe, or so you can just get value from this. So, and laugh at Matthew talking about all of his random stuff and his sparkly badges.
If we could pull it forward a little bit, so it's like maybe start at 8 o'clock, so I can go to bed by 9. Perfect.
Yeah, he's got to go to bed now, guys. Because his phone just vibrated saying it's bedtime, and it's 10 to 9.
That's second podcast in a row. That's cool.
That is happening on 2 podcasts
Siri.
in a row now. Siri is embarrassing.
Siri's on my case constantly.
Right, legends.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Should we do it after the 35th?
Yeah, definitely. I will see all you boys there.
Nice one, mate.
Legends.
Nice one, legends.
Take care, guys. Thanks very much for listening, guys and girls. I hope you all enjoyed that and got a lot of value from it. If you do have any questions or any feedback, then please do let us know, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.